Hey everybody, I want to welcome you to the June Plane Talk, and I want to thank you guys for being joining us tonight. In our monthly webinars, our monthly instructional Plane Talk, and this is for this one we set up once a month for the general public or anybody that's interested out there. And I want to thank you guys for being part of this again, like normal. In fact, it was really good timing tonight because literally 2 minutes ago we literally had a rainstorm come through here that you wouldn't have been able to hear me talk right now. It was so loud on the roof in here. I mean, it poured and it just stopped. So maybe somebody's looking out for us tonight. So usually we do these things in our home base, and we have lightning knock us out, or we have thunderstorms knock us out, or whatever. So hopefully we're good tonight. It's nice and quiet out there now, and it's cooled off a lot. But anyway, again, thank you guys for joining us tonight. And tonight's topic we're going to do tonight is I'm going to talk about really impact. I'm going to talk about impact training, or maybe ideal impact. We'll get into that topic. So really the moment of truth at impact, and we'll talk about that and some drills you can do on and so on, and discuss that. And then hopefully we'll have some time. We'll get some Q&A, some questions after that, and whether it's related to impact or whatever else you have to do in the full swing, we'll talk about that. So we should have some time with that at the end of tonight. And also have a giveaway or two like normal. All right, so let's talk impact training tonight. And guys, obviously impact training is the moment of truth. It's impact of the golf ball, okay? And I was thinking about today, I was thinking about the last couple of days, about how I wanted to present this to you guys. And I really kind of thought about, let's work this backwards. Let's just describe what perfect impact is and what we're looking at with perfect impact. Let's talk about that. And then let's discuss a little bit how to get there and some common faults or reasons why individuals have difficulty getting there. Now, I think a lot of you that have been with us for a while probably have heard this many times or heard this from before, but hopefully you pick up a few cues tonight that you can work on, or maybe a few reminders that you guys can work on. And the new guys out there, I mean, this will be some new stuff for you. This will be some things that we really look at. We really talk about very diligently about that impact position, okay? And obviously, the number one is I can't stress enough how important it is to get a training tool or two to work on impact. Because impact is, remember, you're going through impact when you hit the golf ball. I mean, it's literally a split second. Impact occurs for a split second. Yes, the process of getting the grip, the setup, the takeaway, the transition, so on, that's all takes, it's also within a second or two. But that impact position is just, it occurs in the blink of an eye, okay? So when you're working on it, you've really got to do a lot of static work. You've really got to do a lot of, when I say static work, a lot of position work to train the body what ideal impact position feels like, to train the body what it's trying to feel, to train the eye when you look on video or so on, what you're looking at that impact, okay? In fact, even when you do impact on video, it's hard to get that moment of impact because it's so fast, okay? Now, my staff, my master instructors, my instructors who work with video with you guys every day, they're extremely good at this. They're very trained and they're wonderful at this, okay? But here's what we're going to do. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to go to impact, and I'm going to go to that position. And we're going to talk about what ideal impact is, okay? So now, obviously, it'd be like having a golf ball here in front of the leverage bag, okay? And I'm going to set up, and I've got an impact trainer here. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, obviously. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to impact, and I'm going to hold this position, okay? So right now, I'm going to go to impact, I'm going to hold. And folks, I'm going to tell you right now, it's absolutely critical that you can do this. Because if you think that you can go and just without something in front of you and just go to that position to hold it, it's extremely difficult, okay? Because there's nothing that's resisting the golf club. And so as you go there, you will turn things, you'll get in bad positions just because there's no resistance at that impact. That's why, honestly, if you looked at probably the number one training tool for any golfer, for any teacher in the entire world, and probably the number one most important is a impact bag. Because it can literally stop, and you can then take the student and say, okay, look at this, look at that, look at this, okay? And say, this looks good, this doesn't, and so on. So I go to impact, I hold this position. Now let's discuss, and I'll give you a face on first, then I'll give you down the line. So when you look at this face on, which I hope you guys have all filmed your swing and you've seen this many times, the first thing we're going to look at is at impact, our lead arm or the arm is straightened up all the way down to the club head, okay? So right now it is a straight line from the lead shoulder down to the club head. It's not cupped, it's not bowed out, it's a straight line down, okay? That's number one. Number two, at impact, and this is obviously indicative of the single plane swing, but at impact, both feet are down on the ground. Notice, and the best way to describe this, and the best way I want you to look at, the number one thing I want to look at, is the heel of the trail foot is on the ground. So at impact, that heel is on the ground. No, it is not lifted up. And that is, and I'll give you a down the line view here in a second, but obviously this is very indicative or this is a very important point of the single plane swing, okay? So when we make impact, that heel is down. That's number two. Number three is at impact. And if you notice here, my lead shoulder is above my trail shoulder. So my trail shoulder has dropped. My lead shoulder has basically risen. Now, it is, if I set up, and let's say I set up, there's a 20-degree shoulder tilt, at impact, that has increased, okay? That has slightly increased. But that lead shoulder is above the trail shoulder. So if you look from a face-on view, you're not going to see this where the shoulders are level or the trail shoulder is above the lead shoulder. The lead shoulder is above the trail shoulder and actually the same or more than when you set up, okay? So you can take a setup, you can draw a line on your shoulders, and I'm sure my instructors have done this for you many times. You send in a video, and then you make impact. You should see that same line either at that or lower, okay? That's what you'll see, depending on the club. So, boom, we make impact. Next, when you look at impact, both knees are flexed. The lead knee is flexed more than the trail, and they're both flexed towards that lead toe. Now, I'll give you a down the line view here, but as I go to impact, both knees are flexed. They're flexed more than when I started, actually considerably more than when I started, okay? Both knees are flexed towards that lead or left toe. Now, they can't see it here, but I'll show you that in a second because it's blocked by the leverage bag. But both are flexed towards that lead toe, okay? The lead knee is flexed more than the trail knee. So if I look down right now and I check, I see more flex of the lead knee towards the lead toe than the trail knee towards the lead toe. This trail knee is flexed in towards the toe. Notice what I said there, flexed in towards the toe. It's not flexed towards the trail toe, it's flexed towards the lead toe, okay? And with that being said, this trail hip has dropped slightly and is also dropped towards that lead toe, okay? So let's talk about that one more time, and then we're talking about how to get there in some drills. So basically, I'm working this backwards for you guys. I'm going to show you what ideal impact is. Then I'm going to show you how to get there, and again, the common mistakes that are typically made at that. Okay, so I sit up right now, okay? I'm just going to go to halfway back. I don't need to go way back. I'm going to go to impact. So let's review that one more time. Number one, both feet are down, okay? Number two, the heel of the trail foot is on the ground. Now, this trail foot can be rolled in slightly. It can be rolled in. It doesn't have to be flat in the ground. It can be rolled in. As it's rolled in, but the heel is touching the ground. It is on the ground, okay? In fact, we talked about this a lot. There's a very famous picture of Mo Norman hitting a driver, and the foot's literally in like this, but the heel is touching the ground, okay? Now, so both feet are down, both feet are down, the heel of the trail foot is down. Both knees are flexed towards that lead toe. The trail hip has dropped. Okay, it is dropped. Now we'll give you a down the line view here. As you see in my shoulders, my trail shoulder has dropped slightly. My hands are leading. There's a straight line from the shoulder to the club head, okay? And that's pretty good. Now that's probably all I want to talk about from face on. Now let's go down the line. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to give you a down the line view. Okay, so same thing here. Got the impact bag set up. Same thing. Now, I'm going to set up over the impact bag, okay? I'm only going to take it back to waist high. I'm going to make impact. As I make impact, let's talk about down the line. First thing you notice now is you can see both knees flex towards that lead toe. Okay, you can see that. My hip is 15 to 20 degrees open. My shoulders are relatively square, okay? So if I sat here, I went to impact, and I said, let's look at the shoulders. They're relatively square. The hips are 15 to 20 degrees open. So the hips got ahead of the shoulders. That's how we start the downswing. So when I go to the top of the swing and I start the downswing, the lead knee and the hip start the swing, they get ahead of the shoulders. So if I'm checking this at home, checking this on video, I can go to impact, I can see my hips are open compared to the shoulders, okay? It's a really good reference point when we go there, okay? Now, here's the next thing I want you to look at. My lead arm is above my trail arm. Let's talk about that for a second. So you notice from a down the line view, you can see all of my lead arm versus my trail arm. In fact, my trail arm is still slightly flexed at impact. It hasn't straightened yet. It straightens through impact. So when I go to impact position, this arm is still slightly flexed and the lead arm is above the trail arm. Okay? So, and this is critical because what you will see if you're coming over top the shot, you will see at impact, your shoulders and arms will either be equal or your trail will be above your lead, and most of the time your trail is straightened out. Okay? The trail is not straightened out. The trail arm is still flexed and the lead is above the trail at that impact position. Okay? Now, so the biggest checks you can do if you take a leverage bag and you hit it, or just hit it nice and soft, from a down the line view is hit the bag, both feet are down. Notice here, look at my trail foot. It is on the ground. That heel's on the ground. I can feel the pressure on the inside of that foot. I can feel the pressure on the inside of my knee. I can feel that pressure going towards impact. But the foot did not come up. It did not spin out. The foot is on the ground, okay? Also, you can look at my hip here. You can look at the back of my pants here or the lines of my pants or the hip. As I go to impact, you watch it go down. Notice that. Go down. That drop down is the hip also going towards that lead toe. That hip going towards that lead toe is what drops the trail shoulder, which allows the head, it goes down and back slightly, okay, but allows you now to get into good position with relatively square shoulders through impact, okay? Because the shoulder is not coming over, it's dropping under. And that's what we're looking for here is the shoulder dropping under. Okay, so I showed you what you're looking for at impact now, okay? I gave you a face on and down the line, okay? So, and I know that was a lot, but what we're going to do now for just a few minutes is we're going to talk about some drills we can do, and we're going to kind of work backwards on this also. Some drills we can do to help you feel or get into a good impact position. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is and I like starting short. I've got the Short Game Impact Trainer, and I can't stress this enough. In fact, I pulled this out of my bag a few minutes ago. Guys, I use this and warm up with this every single day. I mean, I love this club. And what this Short Game Impact Trainer does for you is, and that's why I'm bringing this up, is number one, it's got the negative loft on the face. So if you look at this face in this, the last basically two grooves on it have got negative loft. This makes you hit or take a divot or work on taking a divot when you are practicing. Guys, close to 70, almost 80%, it's over 70% of golfers take minimal to no divot when they're playing golf. They don't take a divot when they're chipping, they'll take a divot when they're pitching, they'll take a divot in their full swing. If you're not making a divot, you're not getting compression. Compression of that golf ball at impact is what creates the spin and lift in the golf ball. This is what I just said. We take a golf ball, in every club in the bag except the driver and the putter, we're hitting down on the ball. That hitting down on the ball at impact is driving compression through that ball. That ball rolls up on the face of the club. That rolling up on the face with that compression down creates spin on the ball, which creates the lift. Okay? That lift is what creates the distance, creates the height. That's what we're looking for. If you are going down and you are flipping the club or you are casting the club, okay, you will create a little bit of spin, but not the maximum spin you could create if you make a proper divot. So if you're lifting, yes, you will get some lift on the ball, but you will lose distance, you will lose spin, you will lose height, you will lose control. And that's what the game is all about. It's controlling the backspin of a golf ball. So we have got to learn to hit down on the ball. The impact trainer, the Short Game Impact Trainer, is set up to consciously and subconsciously help you hit down on the golf ball. Because if you get in a tight lie or off the mat or just a nice range, if you pick the ball, you'll thin it. you won't hit it well off the ground because that bottom groove is going to be basically a negative groove and it kind of puts overspin on it. This makes you hit down in the ball. It is huge. And I've talked about this many, many times. Every lady I start with, every junior, the reason I say juniors and ladies is because most juniors and ladies, when you start with them, they don't make much divot. Or any guy who I'm working with who is making minimal divot, I put this in their hand. I say, this is what we're going to train with, okay? So number one, you start hitting with this club, whether you chip, you pitch, or hit full swings with it, it helps you make that divot we want, or more of a solid divot. The second thing with this club is it's got the training grip on it. And this is massive, and I'll show you why now. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take this bag, and we're going to do a drill that's been done since the 1900s. I'm not kidding you. It's since the 1800s. This drill has been done forever. In fact, I think they talked about it one time that they talked about pushing rocks around when they started this. It's crazy. I know Ben Hogan did it, pushing tires around. I mean, this is a very popular drill that's been done forever and ever and ever for hundreds of years in golf. All you're going to do is take a club. You know, I strongly suggest one with the training grip. Show you why. You're going to set up on the bag and you're going to push it. And you're going to try to push the bag around. As you push this bag, you're not going to push it by spinning the shoulders out and coming across and leaning. You're going to push it by going into a flex lead leg and pushing the hands forward. And you're going to push this as hard as you can. You're literally going to try to push this bag around and feel that impact position, okay? Now, you will see very quickly, you start pushing this bag, the first thing that occurs is your hands straighten up. They go to a straight position. Nobody pushes it with a bent or a broken down lead wrist. There's no power there. Number two, as you start pushing this bag, your trail arm immediately folds and folds in towards the hip to push. The last thing you're going to do is have this elbow fly out. In fact, that just hurt me. I just did that. It hurt my wrist. It's not going to fly out and go on top of it. That's a very weak position. You're trying to push this bag, your elbow is going to bend inside. So you're going to push this and feel what ideal impact feels like because your body is going to want to get to that strongest position, okay? Both feet are going to be on the ground. Both these are going to flex. Guys, you're going to feel real quick. This is not a powerful position. Lifting that foot up and spinning the hips out is not powerful. Power is feet on the ground, hands forward, push as hard as you can. Okay, and I'm going to give you a down the line view on this. So it's a very simple drill, but it's probably, and like I said, is one of the most popular, common drills that's ever done. Okay, read Hogan's Power Golf. He talks about this a ton in there. Okay, you're going to set up and you're going to push. Okay, as you push, feet are on the ground, knees are flexed. You're going to feel yourself drive off that trail foot into it, and you're going to feel the hands go immediately forward. You're going to feel, and how can you get in that powerful position? Now, the reason we want the training grip on there is critical. And the reason it's critical is because if I grab any normal club and I do this push drill, the first thing that has a tendency to happen is our hands roll to the right. It's just natural. So I go and I start pushing, zoom in on this real quick. Your hands will roll to the right and you'll get a really strong grip. And that's not what we want, okay? Because guys, yes, this is the moment of truth. Yes, it is the moment of impact. But if you're doing the push drill, okay, the hands, when you get in there and you push hard, they tend to roll to the right and we get a bad grip on the club. So we want to get a molded club, a molded grip that the hands can't roll. Because then I can push as hard as I can. I can push as hard as I want, and the molded club, the molded grip keeps my hands in the proper position. Critical. Here's what else this molded grip does for me, and it's massive. Is, guys, we talk about the pressure points. The number one, no doubt about it, no question about it, pressure point at impact is the thumb and the forefinger of the trail hand. The thumb and the forefinger, the pinch between the thumb and the forefinger, in particular, the inside of the forefinger of the trail hand is your moment of impact position. It is the hand. It is where you're going to feel it. So right now, and that's the knob on this grip. In fact, if he zooms in on this grip, you will see there is a mark on this grip right there where that moment of truth is in that position. So right now, I put that on there, okay? And I literally go to impact and I push. I want you guys to take every finger off the hand of that trail hand and set the thumb and the forefinger. Take all these fingers off, just like that. Take them all off, okay? And just push with those two fingers. That's it. Or the thumb and the forefinger. That's it. And push. And I want you to feel that pressure on the inside of that hand. I want you to feel the pressure on the inside of that forefinger. Because, guys, that's the feeling of greatness on that part of the hand. I'm just telling you right now, when you hit a perfect shot, that's what creates the impact position, and that's what creates the ultimate release. what happens is too many guys get in a bad position and the hands get under and they get the grip under at impact. And here's what happens. So now, this is an ideal position, okay? But let's pretend I was drilling and it went to the right because I was going and went to the right. I got too strong of a grip. Well, now my impact position, I make impact with too strong of a grip. Well, now the pressure point isn't on the inside of that forefinger. It's actually towards the middle of the hand. Now the club head isn't going to work properly. It's not going to release. In fact, it'll go straight through. I'll block that. I'll slice it. So now what I have to do to make up for an improper grip, improper position, is I've got to rotate really hard to try to square that face. So an improper grip, an improper pressure point at impact creates an improper face through impact, which now I've got to compensate by spinning the body out to try to get that face squared. So I can't do it with my hands, or I'll start flipping my hands really fast. Guys, good luck. So when I'm working on this impact bag and I'm working out this push drill, okay, or this impact drill, understand something here. That everybody out there thinks it's just about straightening this up and feeling the ground pressure and feeling the feet off the ground and feeling the hips get ahead of the shoulders. Guys, the thing I feel the most is that trail finger, is the inside of the forefinger, the trail hand. I'm feeling that push. Just like I said, I can take my whole hand off and feel that thing push. It's not rolling over. It's not rolling under. It's got that face square and pushing. And that is an unbelievable feeling. In fact, honestly, when I'm playing my best, it's kind of what I tend to focus on. I tend to feel that focus, that forefinger, that trail hand. That's why we all kind of form a trigger finger there. When you start doing a good job with it, there's a little trigger finger form there. That, guys, you really feel that and flush through that impact. You feel that, okay? But the only way that you're going to get that consistently is to get some type of molded grip on there like we have for you guys and feel that position, okay? So that's number one. We want to do that, okay? So, guys, I can't stress enough, do this drill a ton. You cannot do this drill too much. I'd like you to warm up doing this drill, okay? Cannot do that enough, okay? So now, this leads into the second drill we're going to do. And guys, if you've been to one of our schools, you've been around us, you guys know this drill. So here's what we're going to do. And you guys, you can do this inside in a net. You can do it with wiffle balls inside. You can do it outside in the range. It's the bag to ball drill. It's the impact drill. So what I've done here right now is I've got the leverage bag set up, or I got the impact right there. I got the leverage bag set up. Now what I'm going to do is I've just got a ball on the inside. Okay, and I'm going to set this so I can kind of set, make sure I'm on the screen still. Got it good there. Okay. Now, all I'm going to do, and guys, the biggest thing on this is I don't want you to overswing this. It's not about how far you can hit this or how hard you can hit the bag or if you're going to rip through this. It's not what this is about, okay? This is about feeling impact. This is about, and then obviously we'll get a little bit of a release here because we're going to go through a proper impact. But now what I've done, you guys, yeah, you can absolutely do this with a short game impact trainer. In fact, I'd probably start with that. I'd go to waist high, hit the bag and hold it. Feel that position with that thumb. Go to waist high, hit the bag and hold it, okay? Feel that position with the thumb and the forefinger. Love it. Now, take the ball right next to it. Go to waist high. Hit that ball. Feel the same position. Notice, I'm going to waist high through impact, and this is what I want you to check right now. I did not go beyond waist high. It's a toe up, toe over drill. Both feet are on the ground. Both knees are flexed. My shoulder is over my trail. My head is over my trail shoulder. My hands are fully released over. The club head is back on plane. And the beautiful part here is it's just pointing right down the line. It's going right down the line. It's right down the line. It is not inside, it's not out. So if I won't hit a ball this direction, but so if I did this down the line, I'd do this. I'd go to waist high, make impact. Go to waist high, make impact. Go to waist high, make impact. Hold that position. Now, take a golf ball on the inside, go to waist high, hit the ball, go to waist high. Look what I'm doing right here. So right now, feet are down, knees are flexed. Chin is over the trail shoulder. Hand is fully released. Club is pointed down the line. Okay? That's how we work on impact. Now, I would do that with the training grip short game impact trainer. Then I would transition up to the impact trainer, the perfect impact trainer. And the reason I would do that, and the sole reason, number one, has the same face on it, same with the negative loft on it. It's the length of a 6-iron, but now we've got a grip That's like the grip you have in your clubs. I hope every single one of you obviously has all grips on your clubs, okay? But it's a grip just like it's on your club. So now we can take the next step up and feel that test. Can I get my hands in a good position at impact and through release, obviously, without a molded club? So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to go to waist high, make impact. Go to waist high, make impact, and hold that. And I'm going to feel that same position. It's very interesting because when I went from the molded grip to this hand right here at impact, it felt different. In fact, when I made impact, I could feel it trying to slip to the right, okay? I had to physically try to keep my hand on that position because it felt like it wanted to go to the right, okay? The molded club didn't let me do that. Now, I obviously can do the same thing here. I can go the bag to ball drill. I can set up, waist high, impact, hold the position. Now, here's the deal. If you start doing the bag to ball drill, and you want to do this again and again, if you go to the bag and you've spun out and your foot's come up or your trail arm isn't above your lead or whatever it is, don't just go hit the ball and hope it's okay. No, that's not the point. You're hitting this bag, checking ideal position. Just like we talked about earlier. You're checking the bag, hitting ideal position. Once you got that ideal position, now we're going here and we're hitting nice, easy shots, checking ideal position. I don't care if that ball comes off the ground. I don't care if it goes forward. I don't care if you top it. It doesn't matter to me. You're looking for ideal positions. You can call it the bump drill. You can call it the toe up, toe over drill. Whatever you want to call it, you're checking those same positions. Because here's what it comes down to. And please, we talk about this a lot, okay? But I think it's probably one of the most misunderstood points, especially in the golf swing. Guys, folks, the entire golf swing occurs from here to here, okay? It occurs from here. So when I go to the backswing and I go to position 1, and I go to position basically 1.5, okay? Past 1.5 right now, all I'm doing right now is just turning a little bit more to create speed. I'm not doing anything extra. You know, position 1, okay, is to turn the hip at the shoulders, a little fold of the trail arm. Going to 1.5, you're starting to cock and hinge the hands, okay? So we've made some movement between 0 to 1.5. Now, past this position right here, everything's pretty much done except just turning a little bit more for speed, okay? So understand that going to waist high, you've completed the golf swing, it's just not going to go very far. So everything past here is just creation of more speed. And it's the same thing on the through swing. So if I go to waist high right now, this club is fully released. The toe is back on plane, the club face is back on plane, the club's pointed down the line, my hand's fully released over, both feet are down. So everything is completely done at waist high. So if I go past that, maybe lift up a little bit, it's just releasing the speed I created back here. So please understand this. The entire golf swing occurs from waist high to waist high. There's nothing else there. So if you're having difficulty at impact or difficulty with release because of poor impact or whatever it is, if you're taking the club all the way back, that's stupid. Because you're literally saying, okay, I can't fare at impact, but I can take a full swing and just guess at it. That doesn't make any sense. You need to start very small, maybe not even waist high, but close, and then go to impact and figure it out. Go to waist high, go to impact and figure it out. And then when you take and hit a golf ball, go to that same position and figure it out, okay? Don't sit there and take a full golf swing and think you're going to get it. No. So go out in the range and hit little short shots. I mean, if you can hit this club 130 yards, go hit 30-yard shots, 40-yard shots, hit into a net, hit wiffle balls, hit them into the fence of your backyard, film it, send it to our coaches, figure this out. And if you're a numbers guy out there, think of it this way. Think right now, okay, I go right here, that's a 30% swing, maybe a 40% swing. If I can't figure out a 40% swing, don't go to 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%. God, no, that's crazy. Go to that position, stop, and work on that position. Whether you're working through impact or whether you're working through the release, work on that position. That is critical because, you know, it is fascinating. You guys, we see this in schools every day. They're seeing it down in Orlando right now in the school. We'll put the bag to ball drill up there, and literally the students walk up and they hit the bag as hard as they can. They're taking full golf swings. Guys, we're not trying to get you to swing at it full. We're trying to get you to understand what perfect impact feels like, what ideal release will then feel like, what it feels like to get to impact, and then create speed on it. Build the moment of truth first, then build speed on it later. That's what it's all about. Because you know, I say this, I know I sound like a broken record on this, and you guys will hear me say this again and again and again, But there's absolutely no doubt about it. The number one mistake golfers make is they try to run before they can walk, okay? And what I mean by running before they walk, they're going to go out there and take a full swing and never figure out how to actually what impact is all about. Guys, this club right here is not going to get just the impact immediately and say, hey, I'm going to get it perfect for you. Just, you're going to guess at it. You need to feel what that feels like. You need to understand what a perfect impact position is. You need to know what it feels like to be in that position. Because then when you do hit it and you hit it like you want to, or you feel that was what I wanted to feel. That was the feeling I was trying to get through versus coming over it or whatever you're doing, okay? And the only way to do that is through static positions and or to make very short swings and feel those positions, okay? And the other thing you got to do, and I just stress this again and again, is you've got to get mechanisms in your hands that will aid you to get those positions and enhance those feelings, like this training grip club. It is massive. I cannot stress it. Guys, I warm up with this. I went and played a few holes here with a buddy of mine, and I was warming up with this. He can attest to that. This is huge. I mean, nothing's worse than getting out there and having a little strong grip, a little weak grip out there, and all of a sudden trying to manage that in the golf course. Throw this in the hand and boom, hit a few shots. Chip with this, okay? So, bag to ball drill, working on the toe up, toe over drill, working on the static positions is massive. This is where we want to get, and this is huge for you guys to get this. Now, I'm going to end it. I'm going to start taking this. We got some questions coming in because I can go into some more, but I bet we'll get through the questions. Okay. So I want to take some questions down. If we don't get these couple of topics I want to talk about, then I'll go over a couple more topics, okay? Now, before we get into the questions, though, I think, Thomas, you had a special tonight. Am I right? Okay. So, guys, we have a perfect impact special tonight called Tim's Impact Special, okay? I didn't know that. That's cool. You got a slide for it, okay? Perfect Impact Training Club, Short Game Impact Trainer for $179. So the two clubs I just showed you, the two things we're working on right here. That's about $80 off. So you're saving 50% or close to it. Yeah. Okay. So the Short Game Impact Trainer and the Perfect Impact Training Club, which is awesome for $179. That's a good deal. And then I think it's 20% off all other training aids. So if you've already got one or the other, you can get 20% off it, and or you can get the leverage bag for 20% off, and so on. Okay. We can work through all that. Yeah, 20% off individual training aids, any training aid, right? Okay. There's the special for tonight, guys. So there you go. So it's the training aid bundle for tonight. Tim's training aid bundle. We're working on the impact. I'm just gonna tell you straight out. Do not sit there and grab a leverage bag or work on something that's not a leverage bag and take one of the clubs in your bag and work on the static position and work on it. Then come to the school or come see me in person, and all of a sudden I see your grip rotated strong. And I'm literally gonna walk over to you and say, okay, show me your training. And you don't have a perfect impact, you don't have a grip on there. I'm gonna go, guys, we see this all the time. It's incredible. In fact, I promise you right now, I think we have a dozen students down in Orlando. I guarantee you right now, the guys are seeing this in at least half of them, where they're making impact and that grip's gotten too strong on the right just because of this, okay? This is massive, okay? Todd created this grip for a reason. It is a massive reason. It's a big, big, big deal to feel these pressure points in the hand and feel that perfect impact. Okay. Let's get a couple questions. Yeah, it's exactly what I thought was going to happen. So we're good. Okay. Would love to see rear wrist angle at impact versus address. Yeah, sure, Eric. Yeah, that's why I knew we'd get into some of these. Okay. So let's go into setup. Okay. So I've got my Short Game Impact Trainer here. Here we go into setup. Now, as I go into setup right now, my lead wrist is flat. My trail wrist has a slight angle in it. Okay. So the trail wrist is not, that would be flat. The trail wrist has got a slight angle in it. Okay. And that's it setup. So right now I'm in good setup. That's my single plane setup. Now, I come back and I go to impact, and as you notice right now, the hands have gotten slightly forward, but there is a slight more flex in that trail hand. Not much, but there's a slight more flex, okay? And there is flex, it is not straightened out. So when I go through impact, there's a slight more flex in the trail hand, and there's actually bend in the trail elbow. And then as I go through, that releases. Now notice, I'm gonna try to give you down the line here. As I go through, that hand extends and that angle extends out and releases. We call that position 5. So as you get to full release, and I get into full release now, my lead wrist is now flexed and my trail wrist is now flat. Okay? So, and obviously my trail lead arm is now bent and my lead arm is now bent and my trail arm is now straight through release. Okay? So you can think of fold in the backswing of the trail arm, creating some angle in the trail wrist. We go to impact. there is still a slight fold or bend in the trail arm. That's the strength position. And there's still angle of the trail wrist. As we go to position 5, the trail wrist, which is starting to get through release, the trail wrist is straightening. Now the lead arm folds, trail wrist flattens out, and now we go up to impact. Or through release, I'm sorry. All right, next question. Is it necessary to start the club a few inches behind the ball instead of directly behind, a few inches behind the ball instead of directly behind the ball? Yeah, Charles, we want to start, here's the deal. No matter what club you are hitting, okay, now I can get the ABT here, okay? We start the club a few inches behind it. And the reason we are is we're always going to start the club on body center or on your nose. So right now, in this short game impact trainer is the length of a 9-iron, okay? So I'm going to set up in a 9-iron length. So right now I got 9-iron width at the stance. I've got 9-iron distance to the golf ball, okay? Now, if I naturally set up in this position, when I get in my single plane position, you see my head is dropped back slightly. And now, right now, this club is directly below the nose. So that's body center. So that club is about maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches behind the ball. That's right behind the golf ball, okay? So it's not going to start at impact. It's behind it. So we start all clubs at body center. So now I'm going to take the perfect impact club, which is a 6-iron length. I'm going to go from that 9-iron to a 6-iron and watch my head. So right now I go to a 6-iron, and you saw it drop back slightly. So notice I went from a 9-iron and watch my head here. My head dropped back slightly because I got a little wider stance. I didn't get the wider stance by going like this. I left my lead foot in the same position. My trail foot dropped, which in essence pushed the ball slightly forward in my stance compared to body center, okay, which makes up for the length of the club. Now I take this club, I put it underneath body center, so it's now a little bit further behind the ball than the 9-iron was, but it's still in the center of the nose, okay? And that's how we want to start this. We want to start them all in body center or right in the center of the nose. The reason that it goes further back is because the width of our stance gets wider, our nose or our body center drops back slightly. We start the club underneath that. All right, got the next question? All right. I have trouble holding my angles due to previous injury of my left wrist. Any drills to stop casting the club? Yeah, David, I just showed you the drills. I mean, to stop casting. You know, most people cast the club. Listen to what I just said there. A majority of golfers cast the club. Okay? Not a minority, a majority. So if you don't cast the club, if you make good solid impact, you create a great divot, you create great spin, you're in a minority, which you want to be in that minority, okay? But number one is you got to convince the brain, you have got to convince the conscious and subconscious thought that a golf ball is struck properly by hitting down on it, not trying to lift it. That's number one. Because so many golfers think, or they've thought over time, and with that thought have created their swing this way, they've thought that the lift of the ball is created from lifting the golf ball. It is not. We hit down on the golf ball. You hit down, okay? That downward blow, as I stated earlier, creates a lift. That's number one. Number two is you take the lead side, and it's like taking the side and slapping into the ground or going downwards towards the target, going down through the impact. It is not lifting this lead side, okay? So we are trying to, as we go to the top of the swing, we are trying to get that lead side through the target. So it doesn't also hurt to think about like your watch or your lead wrist going down through the target and down the line. This is why I promote so hard chipping before you ever go into a full swing. Because if you notice, I'm going to just do this here. I'm going to take the same short game impact trainer, why I was set up. I'm going to get in a good chipping position. Okay, so my lower body is slightly open, my upper body is square. Now I'm going to make impact and hold the position. And as I hold that position, look at my check system right now. Straight down the lead arm to the club head. The club head is square down the target. The wrist or my watch is pointing towards where I was hitting. Okay? Both knees are flexed towards that lead toe. Okay? My trail shoulder's dropped. But I can take a chip and I can hold that static position. Because none of you guys are going to chip and go like this in a chip. I mean, you're not going to do that. Okay? You're going to sit here and hit a nice little soft chip. You're going to sit up and hit a soft chip. Now, you may pull out on it. You may come across it. I'm not going to say you're not going to do that, but you can hold that position and check it. And remember, as we've stated a million times, it's the impact position of the chip is exactly the same as a full swing. It's just a lot shorter. So to sit here on a chip, hold this position. Check that lead wrist. Make sure it's flat. But here's what I want you to do. If you hit that chip and you flip it, don't just go, man, you're an idiot. I can't figure this out. No. Okay? See, because that's what most people do. They literally, okay, when you flip it, push your hands back and say, this is where I want to be. Close your eyes and say, that's what I'm trying to feel. Look down at that wrist. Say, I'm trying to, and then do it really small and really easy. It's okay. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there. And then speed it up a little bit. Trying to get there. Because there's going to be a certain point where you'll flip it because of the speed you're trying to create on it. Start really small and just push your hands forward. Start really small and push your hands forward. Guys, it wouldn't even hurt just to sit down, push your hands, and just push it forward into that spot. Just like we did when we pushed the leverage bag. Okay? Just push it forward. But so many people skip that step. So if you want a great drill to work on that lead wrist, it is absolutely no doubt about it the chipping drill. Chip, 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 because you're holding that position. You're holding that. Guys, here's the issue. This is what it comes down to. It's the chicken and the egg. Good players work on the short game. Really good players work on a lot of their chipping, a lot. Really good players work on their chipping. When they're working on their chipping, they're working on their impact position. They're working at their moment of truth. They're working on they're working on the lead wrist. They're working on the solidness of impact. And they take that to the full swing because they're working on the chipping, which works on the impact of the full swing. Works on chipping, works on the impact of the full swing, whether they know it or not. Poor players, average players, never work on the short game. They just go out there and pound balls. So they cast, they flip, and they flip, and they cast. They never work on the moment of truth. They never work on that impact position. They never work on that moment through impact. They never do it because they don't go chip. Okay? So you want to sit here and build that impact? You want to build that position? Go chip. Go hit 10-yard chips, 20-yard chips, 30-yard chips, 5-foot chips, 20-foot chips, 100-foot chips. Go hit punch shots. Go hit knockdown shots under trees. Go work on those shots. That's why we say good players become great players because they'll go work on their chipping for hours. Okay? Average to poor players never work on their chipping. It's never working on the moment of truth. It's real easy. Guys, nobody goes out there and nobody flips or casts the club, okay, and then goes and chips well. Listen to what I just said. Nobody casts the club and they all of a sudden, man, I'm a great chipper of the ball. No, they thin the ball, they fat the ball, they shank the ball. Guys, that's what they do in the chip. Then all of a sudden you get another guy walks out there and goes, man, chipping's so easy. And all of a sudden, yeah, that guy's great. And he gets in the range and whoosh, he just flushes it right through impact. It's directly related. So if it's directly related, how about if we don't go work on our chipping first, which then builds that moment of truth and we can hold that position, which will then work into the full swing. Okay, so the next question. How do you ensure good impact contact for short pitches and chips? Just answered it. Is that what you're laughing at? Yeah, okay. It's the exact same thing. Let me get a couple balls here. Let me get golf screen here. I'm hitting all my golf balls. All right. Well, I think it's Matt. But anyway, it's the same thing. It's the check position of the short game. So when you're chipping, it's your check position. I'll do it one more time for you here. So I set up on a chip. I hit a chip. I hold that position. And this is what we're going to check. So here's check number one. That lead wrist is flat. If not, it can be slightly bowed out. It's flat. Number two is the trail wrist has got the bend in it. I still have bend in the trail arm. The club head is square towards the target. It's not flipped over or released over. The toe is still square down the target line. Okay? I still have shaft lean. And that's why I promote so hard the short game board. Because when you put this down and you're chipping with the short game board, okay, and you get this towards that lead side, notice what I can see there. I can match the edge of that board to the club head. I can now make sure that I still have some shaft lean in there. I can make sure that I've got space right here. Because the second you flip or cast, you've lost the space, the club head is turned, you've lost that shaft lean. So if all you did right now was go chip, and this is all you did, and I would strongly suggest with the grip on there, because you'll get it strong, so you need a grip training club, I strongly suggest that. And all you did was chip, and then held that position and said, is the face square to the end of that board? Yes. Do I have shaft lean? This is shaft lean. This is negative lean. This is positive lean. If you just have positive shaft lean, yes. Are my feet on the ground? Yes. Is my wrist flat? Yes. If that's all you did, you're working on impact and working on it amazingly. But this is what most of you will do. You'll walk out there and you'll go, I hope that was good. That's what you do. Okay? And then I say, hold the position. You go, well, no. Okay? That's a cast. That's a flip. That's going to be the same thing as this through impact. So just work on that solidness of the chip. And what's the worst thing that happens if you do this? Become a great chipper of the ball? I mean, come on. Guys, it's directly related. Good players have great short games. Great short games develop great short games. And the impact of a great short game develops your full swing impact. It's just what it does. Go read my 2 Birds with 1 Stone. Go study it again and again. Go watch the DVD. You'll see it again and again. Okay? Talk about that a lot. The next question. Please show in detail the position of the hands and arms from position 3 through impact and release. Art. Position of the hands and arms. Well, I mean, we kind of already did that, Art, but okay. So we got position 1, position 2. Here's position 3. So position 3, I'll give you a face-on view here. Okay. Toe is up on the club. Lead arm is basically coming down with an angle. Okay. Trail arm is folded. The trail elbow is in front of the hip. Okay. Now from there, I go to impact, I square up the club, and all I got to do is now square up through impact. Okay. The lead arm goes straight. Face squares up at impact. Trail arm still bent. This butt end of the club for a full swing is going back towards the pivot point, or just ahead of the pivot point. Okay. Now, if you go from toe up into clubs on plane to impact, and you got the good position of the trail hand, the good pressure point of the trail hand, you'll never have to worry about release. Because from here to impact, the club will naturally release right over for you. You will never have to worry about release. What happens is golfers from position 3 or from 2 will pull out, and the hips and shoulders go together. It pulls out, and all of a sudden the club's going outside in. The toe is not coming down. It is going across, and that across position creates a completely open club face. That open club face now, a couple swinging to the right. You don't like that? Now you try to flip your hands through it to make up for it. Okay? So it's from lack of hip separation and of the hips and shoulders. We didn't get in that tonight. We didn't get in that tonight because I wanted to talk about impact, perfect impact. But obviously, you've got to get the hip and shoulder separation in the downswing to allow yourself to get to that impact, okay? Well, yeah, I mean, that's what Thomas just said. Guys, there's going to be 12 sessions on that in a masterclass. Each session, 45 minutes to an hour. And guys, it's going to be exercises on that, studying those positions, working on those positions. I mean, it's the golden move. It's what you guys are looking for. It's why you guys are studying this. It's why you guys are frustrated. It's because you guys messed up position 3 from 2 to 3. I mean, you guys all think you can go 1 to 2, 0 to 1, 1 to 2, which a lot of you guys can do well, and all of a sudden everything goes together in the downswing. I mean, it's the golden position. So we have a whole masterclass on literally position 2 to 3 and then to 4. Literally an entire masterclass on that. All right, let's go to the next question. Okay, how do you think about shaftling when using the leverage bag? Well, Max, I mean, the whole thing on this is the leverage bag is set up where the ball position should be, okay? So this is basically a 9-iron length. So when I go to impact and I push on the bag, my hand is not going to sit back here. If I go to impact and push, it feels very weak. Anybody who's done knows this immediately. It's like you can't even, it feels like you can't push a feather from there. And all of a sudden I push it forward, the hands will immediately go forward and immediately will put shaft lean in the club. The shaft lean is the strength position of a golf swing. But also understand something. Every club in your bag and everybody else's bag is designed to hit with shaft lean. That's the point. So every club that's ever been built is made to hit with shaft lean. If you have no shaft lean or negative shaft lean, the leading edge of the club comes up and there's too much loft in the club. So if you don't have shaft lean in this club, let's say it's a 9-iron, you've turned this into a wedge or gap wedge or sand wedge loft, and the leading edge is bopped up off the ground. So now, number one, you'll probably blade it or you'll hit it thin. Number two, you're going to hit it with way too much loft. So it's going to shoot up in the air or you're going to thin it. So you're going to hit it nowhere. So not only are you not going to compress the ball, you had 41 degrees of loft on the club you're supposed to hit, and all of a sudden you hit it with no shaft lean, you got 45 to 48 effective loft. It's go straight up in the air, okay? So that's problem number one. That's why we talk about this perfect impact trainer clubs, because we put negative loft on the top. So if you flip it, you're going to top it. This makes you top it or hit it thin. It's not an easy club to hit. In fact, if you guys hit off mats all the time, this is the perfect club to hit off mats. because it makes you even more to work on shaft length. So subconsciously, you're saying to get this ball off the ground, I've got to get my hands ahead of that to compress it. And you only do it a couple times, all of a sudden the ball shoots off the ground or off the mat, and you're going, wow, that was pretty easy. And now subconsciously, you're saying, I like that shaft length. That feels good. That's what you're looking for. So using that impact bag, using that position here, okay, and working on that push, where you realize real quickly and you burn into your brain and burn into the feel of the body that is your strength position. That moment of truth with that shaft length is your strength position, and that's what you want to work on again and again, okay? Guys, do it. Experiment. Take the bag, push it, lift up the trail foot, just lift it up and see what it feels like. You're going to look, okay, I just lost power. Now, lift up the lead foot just for fun, see what it feels like, lost power. Now, spin the shoulders out, see what it feels like, lost power. Okay? Now, put the hands behind it and try to push. That actually hurts your wrist. You guys will see it, you lose power. Now, go against the bag and say, I'm going to push this just from that spot, not hit it, push it as hard as I can. And immediately you'll go down. You will immediately drive into the knees. You'll immediately push off the balls of your feet. You'll feel that. That's the power. That's just a natural body, powerful position. It's a great drill. That's why I said, this isn't a drill we made up. This is a drill that's been throughout time of golf, okay? It's a drill that's been for a long time, and it's a great drill. All right, go to the next question. I get pain when I flex my lead knee. Any suggestions how to lessen the pain of the lead knee? Do some exercises, do some work. I mean, I'm guys, and I appreciate these questions about the pain and stuff. As we get older, we get pain and so on. But I mean, it's just, here's the issue. When you go to impact, okay, the stress of the body, proper stress is going to be put on the lead thigh. That's where the stress is put. Yes, it's a little bit on the knee. Okay, guys, it's an athletic move. So there'll be some pressure on the knees. There's going to be some pressure on the hips. There's going to be some pressure on the feet. There's going to be some pressure on the shoulders. It's an athletic move, okay? So there's some pressure on the body, okay? But when you do it properly, the force is put on the lead thigh. Where it's not put is on the back. Because when I go to impact, it's on that thigh, it takes the stress off the back. If I go to impact and I come over the shot straight in the lead knee, now the pressure is put on the back. So if you got a little pain in your lead knee, work, maybe turn the foot out a little bit more, the lead foot. Take a little bit of that stress off the knee, okay? Turn the foot out just a little bit, not a lot. Work on getting that lead side properly. Most of the time, lead knee stress is because you're pulling out on the knee, you're pulling out on the knee, you pull out on the knee, and that's what creates that stress. Guys, snapping that knee again and again through impact, snapping that knee, as you see how conventional players do, is a heck of a lot more stress than going to this impact position here and putting it on your thigh. Trust me, that is stress on the knee. That is stress on the knee, okay? So work on that. Work on that impact position. Work on getting that stress, that lead thigh. That's the biggest thing. We good? Okay, we got giveaways tonight. Forgot about those. All right. Guys, remember the short game impact is it's good for tonight. You guys see this? It's Tim's Impact Special. Perfect Impact Training Club and the Short Game Impact Trainer. Any guys, you come see me. Going down to Orlando tomorrow. You guys see me out there practicing. That's what you see me practicing with. Promise you will. It's what we practice with, okay? $179 for both those. Say $80 off. It's normally $250, $260. Or 20% off any training aid, okay? Set up your training station inside. Get your short game impact trainer, get your impact, get your leverage bag, get your perfect impact trainer. Do some of what I just showed you tonight. Perfect drills. Stuff you can do all year round. Okay, love it. We good? Yeah. Okay, within what, how long? Okay, so these are in production. They'll be in the next couple of weeks. So get order because we get you on a waiting list and we get them out as fast as we get them in. I mean, Tanya's amazing at that. She gets them out very fast and we get them in, okay? So we got some giveaways. Okay, so the first one is the Perfect Impact Bundle giveaway for Brad Hobbs from, not even pronounce that, Alabama. Wow, that's a classic Alabama name there. Not even try that. So Brad from Alabama, congratulations, okay? Love it. Okay, and then Jack Bird Jr., I love it, from Canton, Michigan, I can pronounce all that. The 3-day Premier School Certificate, anytime, Jack, any school you want to pick, 3-day school, okay? So Jack Bird Jr. from Canton, Michigan. Congratulations, Jack and Brad. Congratulations on those tonight. And guys, again, any questions on schools, any questions on the training aids, Any questions on the new 100% trade-in bonus, the additional 100% for the Paradigm, Apex, Reva, any of that, you can always email me at timg@gravesgolf. I'll either answer or get to the right person. And I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. We'll have another one of these in July. Members, we have one in 2 weeks on the 21st, I believe. It's 21st. So June 21st is going to be a really cool one. It's another great one coming up for you guys in the 10% show. If you guys got any questions, anything else, give us a holler. And guys, thanks for joining us tonight.